I'd rather just start talking, and then once ever this leads into whatever it leads into. Did you? What year were you when you had your kids in the league?
My third year. So when I tore my bicep, when I decided to get surgery, that was the day I found out my wife was pregnant.
On the same day?
The same day.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when we were at lunch. I was thinking about how like you were probably third year. Your third year this year or fourth year? Fourth year. So it's kind of same time. That's crazy.
You were 4 years in college?
Yeah, I did 4 years.
At the same time. I left 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, because you left at your third
Same
year.
age.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's right.
Same time span, just different.
So you were how old?
I was 23, I think. 23, 24.
So same exact time frame. I'm kind of curious, and we're not like officially started anything. It's just kind of rolling. But I'm kind of curious of like how having kids changes or like shifts perspective on like the career side of things. Because I'll be honest, y'all in two different spaces than me, right? Like I don't have children, barely about to get married. Like that's a general thing I think about is how that shapes business and work and stuff like that. Like how do you feel? You're only a month in. How do you feel like it shaped you, and then maybe early on with you? Yeah.
We're talking about that now?
Yeah, might as well just keep it
Oh,
rolling.
I didn't know. I thought we was waiting.
I just say we roll with things.
Let's roll with it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had my first child, but when I found out I was having my first child, it pushed me more because I'm accountable, even more accountable for someone else that's completely dependent upon me.
Yeah.
And I had my fiance at the time, and we had a kid on the way, so it's like we got to take care of this. We got to figure it out. So I just got injured. So I'm coming off an injury, not knowing what my future was.
You got to fix anything, take it. Yeah.
What?
Your future was in terms of like how long you'd be playing or what?
Yeah, I didn't know what my future was. I'm in year 3, so year 3 in the NFL is a big year. That's the year where a team makes a decision on you. When you're a draft pick, you go in that third year, are we going to keep him? Are we going to let him walk into free agency? Are we going to pay him?
Why is that? Why is the third year so relevant?
I was a second round pick, so they give you a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more leeway.
Like longer
and
leash?
they're making a decision on as far as the future, and if you're going to be a part of it. So getting hurt in that year was big because I had some momentum. I was playing well.
Is that why they say like the average NFL career is 2 years? Because like by that point they know if they're going to invest.
By that point they already made that decision. It's like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
And my journey is a lot different. I went 6th round, and so my third year was different. I came off the street my third year.
Hey, but tell Jeff a little bit. Like why'd you go 6th round? Because like you were like a high school recruit, like number one receiver out of high school, right?
Athlete.
Number one athlete coming out of high school.
Play both ways. College played both ways.
Well, I didn't know that. You played receiver and...
Yeah, I had to switch numbers. I wore 21. I wore 34 my whole life. And a senior...
Or pull your chair.
A senior had 34.
Go to the beanbag.
So I was like, you know what? I know he's not going to give it up. So I should switch to 21, which is prime time. So I'm going to switch to 21. And the first game I did, I ran my punt return back. First game, my first punt return, I ran back. And
were you feeling yourself like a motherfucker at that point, huh?
Yeah, and then that game that's the first game I played DB against NC State in a big game. And I think right before the punt return, I jumped off sides. It was like 39. It was like 39. I jumped off side. I'm like, all right, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to make up for it. And when I switched to 21, Coach Sweeney said, you stand at the rest of the year. And he made me wear it the rest of the year. But going forward, I actually had a higher draft pick grade at defense than offense, which was first and second.
Keep talking about it.
First and second. And
don't clam up on me now, boy.
Nah,
We've been talking. Yeah, come on. First and second what?
I had a first and second round draft pick for defense. Come back one more year.
Yeah.
Coming up, I came on my third year, which I did was 5th through 6th. Ended up going 6th round. And me leaving was more of, I felt like talent level on the field was like, where else can I grow? Like, where else can I get better? The only thing I'm coming back for is to get drafted higher, but I'm not getting no more touches than I did this year. I feel like I needed to be somewhere where I'm around older people to learn off the field stuff. I learn how to be professional, learn how to make decisions off the field. Like from just eating, my eating habits was bad. Everything was just natural on the field. So I just had to grow up a little bit off the field. And I ended up getting drafted by the Bills. And I went into a locker room where there were no leaders. You know what I'm saying? Coaches weren't players' coaches yet. They're winning now, but at the time they were trying to build a culture.
Yeah.
I wasn't a place to be on a team to build a culture. Like I needed to go into a culture that,
you were young.
you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like I'm gonna have.
For a second. Because I hear a non-athlete here, right? Like I hear that term a lot, players coach. Like, what do you mean to have a players coach? What's a player coach mean?
Someone that just understand what it is being a player. Like for me, Coach Tomlin and Coach Sweeney, the most just know how to understand coaches that I've played for.
Yeah.
Just when you make mistakes, know how to, man, next play mentality.
Yeah.
Some coaches linger and it carries on to the team's culture, carries on to your head, next game, and that's you can't grow like that. You can't win championships like that.
It's an interesting dynamic because, like, in the business world, mentorship's like a big topic people talk about all the time. Like, how do you find the right mentor? And everybody look like it feels like for somebody who got millions of dollars, who can learn from their business, their real estate portfolio, whatever else. In football, you kind of have it tailored into the context of the sport you play, where like mentors are kind of like coaches. Yeah. So like talk about the transition from, and maybe either of you, like college, what that mentorship's like, because I'm assuming as a college player, you need a lot more hands-on stuff than maybe in the NFL.
I would say from a mentorship standpoint, coaches were more, I guess, impactful in college. Just from the standpoint of you're dealing with school, you're dealing with a lot more stressors in college than you necessarily do in the league because there's so many, your schedule is jam-packed. NFL is all football. I mean, you're getting paid, you're dealing with, adult issues now, but your job is football now. And a lot of mentorship comes from the locker room. It comes from those guys in the locker room, the older guys.
And I'm not gonna lie, my mentor didn't come from college my mentor didn't come till year 2 for me. It was actually one of my closest friends, Leonard Johnson, who was a player. You probably played against him, he's a little older. He came and did like a GA intern job at the Bills. Yeah. And I thought he was a rookie because he wasn't participating in anything. He was just watching. And he was kind of like watching me from the side. I'm like, bro, who is this dude keep looking at me, watching me? Yeah. And he was like, being from the same area, he knew who I was. It's like, he said, I'm gonna mentor you. Like, coach want me to, like, you know what I'm saying, learn about you. Yeah. Just help you out with principles, life principles. And that's what got me into reading a little bit. And just, I think that's when my, just a view of everything kind of changed in the NFL world for me. Like, everything is really mental and off the field.
It is.
Everything else is like, everybody can play football when you're in that professional world, but it's just can you stay on the field, and when you're on the field, you know what you're doing. Yeah. And so for me, college in that first year or two was growing pains for me. Yeah. And I felt like that end of year 2 was very pivotal for me. Just go to the next step. So yeah.
I feel like, and I want to pass this to you, but I feel like when you think about athletes, it seems like from the outside looking in, when you get to the professional level, like you have the athletics to do whatever you need to do to be really great. It feels like from the outside looking in, what separates people is how they handle just themselves outside of whatever their craft is in terms of the athletic part of it. Did you feel that shift happen quickly for you? Did you feel like it was like longer term?
You feel it right away. And I think that's why mentorship is so important, especially as a young guy. That's in any profession. Yeah. You come in and you look at the person that's doing it at a high level, they're doing something right. And that's what I did. I went in there not only from a football standpoint, I was looking at the way guys were spending money. Yeah. I was like, okay, I know this guy making a lot of money, but he's not spending it. So I'm asking questions like, what are you doing with your money? Why are you making these type of decisions? And one of the first things, this guy named Ryan Lilja, when I was in the league, he told me, I told him what I wanted to do. He's like, what you want to do? You just got paid. I'm a second round pick. What you want to do? I was like, I want to buy my mom a house. That was always been my dream. And he was like, don't do it. I'm like, what do you mean don't do it? He's like, don't do it. He's like, you don't know how long this is going to last. You don't know where you're going to be, 3 or 4 years from now. The worst thing you can do is buy something you can't afford. He said, or, 3, 4 years from now, you may re-up, get a big contract. You may be able to afford your mom something else, but at least you know where you stand. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made. So I didn't buy myself anything. I didn't buy my mom a house. I continued to rent. And I started to invest my money in different ways. And honestly, it started on early. And I started to make some good decisions early. And that momentum continued as I got older.
Yeah, it's crazy because you're in just by the fact of being in the NFL, you're in the most publicized spot that you could possibly be in, and also a place with the most access that you could possibly be in. Maybe tell people like, Ray, what's a story of you realizing like the access that you had in the NFL? Because you come from, Tampa, but like you come from neighborhoods, areas where maybe you saw some people do it, but maybe a lot of people didn't make it out. What was your first moment of being like, damn, I got access now that I didn't have before I got here?
I think when I first went on a yacht.
Okay, talk about it. Like his face lit up as soon as he said that. Oh yeah, talk to me about it.
I was with he actually went to Clemson with me, not with me, before me, and never met him. He didn't come back. But
Who was it?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, yeah.
He went to Clemson before me. Yeah. And I never met him. He never came back. He just was playing ball, focused on what he needed to focus on. And when I left, I was training down in Boca. I used to go down to Miami. I see him often.
Yeah.
And one day I felt somebody grab me, like in the we was like out of event. I'm like, man, who grabbed me? He was like, "What you doing, youngie? What you like?" Yeah. I knew he was, and he was talking. He was like, "Man, whatever, have what you want. It was food or like finger food." And he started talking to me. It was kind of loud, so he was like, "Man, what you doing tomorrow?" He said, "Come to the boat." It was like, and at the boat, it was just like business people.
Yep.
Other players. Yeah. Females. It was just a lot going on. Just enjoyable time. And I was like, this I can get used to this. Like it was just you know what I'm saying? But that's the first time I was like, okay, starting to feel the energy of being a professional athlete. And
what come with that? You lit up when he said,
definitely. For me, it was a private jet. I was like, Yep. And you hear it a lot. Once you do things like flying first class, flying private, all those things, it changes your perspective because you just see the luxury of it. Yeah. And it makes you want to work that much harder to have access to that. And not only that, when you get in those rooms with those people that are in business, that aren't just playing football, they just want to be around you. You use the opportunities to network, because the NFL, it stands for not for long. You're not going to do it forever. If you're lucky, you're going to play, 10 years and you're still going to be young when you're done. So.
And what he just said is one thing why me and Shady McCoy got real close.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy, right?
LaShawn McCoy. I remember, was it my first year? Maybe going into my second year. I know it was training camp though. You get that little day off. You get a little day off during training camp. And he was like, "Youngin, let's go to New York." We're in Buffalo. Let's go to New York. Youngin, like, I said, how are we finna get there? Like, there and back that fast?
Because he talk about like, let's go and then come right back. Yeah.
I already knew he was talking about, but I asked anyway, how you doing? He said, man, I'm gonna get a PJ. Me, you, like 3 people split it. I said, what is talking about? Like, he was like, man, like 30 band, we just split it all in 4 ways. I was
like you going to lunch or something.
I love you, dog. I said, I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready for that yet. You know what I'm saying? My lifestyle ain't ready for that yet. Yeah. He was like, bro, you good, bro. So I said, I respect you for that. Like, most jits like try to hang out and be on our level, and they go broke like that. Yeah. And he said, man, I take care of the flight. Just get your hotel. You good? Yeah. And ever since then, we enjoyed our time down there, and it was just like, even now he doing his real estate thing, and I hit him up all the time about it, like to get involved and see what he's doing. But he moving around out the country. He doing a lot of stuff right now. But eventually, when he settled down, that's someone I know. Even before football, I kind of watched him and stuff. How he watches money. Yeah. So he'll spend on his time where he feel like he's comfortable and stuff, but he also invest in a lot of things
for
too,
sure.
So and that's important. I think it's about balance. One of the greatest things I heard, I forget who told me, but it was, you can't value everything. Of course, you want to do nice things for yourself, but you can't value everything. You can't want nice cars. You can't want nice chains. You can't want everything, but you can pick a couple things. Yep. I know I like a nice house, so I'm gonna spend my money on real estate. I'm gonna give you something nice to live in because I'm a homebody. I like cars too, so those are my 2 things. Those are the 2 things that, I like to have fun with. But outside of that, I'm not spending no money.
Yeah. Yeah, so y'all in locker rooms, and it's funny, if you think about locker rooms, they're like a very eclectic group of people, come from different places, all different parts of the country, all that type of stuff, all different backgrounds, right? What was the process like? You get your first checks, you start learning how to like how did you start figuring out how to manage your money? Because like you were around some people who I can get on a private jet anytime I want to, and it's not really making a difference. Write that off at the end of the year, ain't that big of a deal. And you got some people who are on minimums and not making the type of money to afford that. Yeah, most of the league, right? You got 1%. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you. So like, how did you learn how to manage your money and kind of what was that process like?
I went 6 rounds, so my money's different than his money. Yeah. But my first check that I got,
Yeah.
I bought real estate. I bought land out in Winter Haven, a little area outside of Orlando.
Yeah.
It was a neighborhood that was just starting to build. You only could build 400 and up. Bought some land out there, build a house out there, and eventually sell it or keep it and hold on to it.
So how did you? But here's what I'm interested in going to. So like how did the moment come? Okay, real estate. The deal was sourced. Was it that I get in the NFL now? People are hitting me up, and somebody who hit you up that you knew got it. Like how did the deal come around?
My dad's in real estate, so I got my uncle owns over like 200 plus, 300 plus units.
Yeah, sure.
From around Tampa area, and he been doing it since he's about 30 years now. So my dad kind of got a little bit of game from him, and my dad he didn't push it on me, but because I used to I ain't trying to have real estate now. I'm trying to play football, but as a young in college, and then in college, I mean, shoot, well, I don't think I ever had a dollar. I had a little Porsche Cayenne, and it was hard to maintenance, and then I kind of like lost my license, but for like a good 2 months, I lost my license.
How you lose your license?
I had a few reckless drivers. You know, when you're a freshman, you fresh out the house, we going to another state. Like, and I did 2 back to back.
Yeah, people don't know this, but you do think you're like a NASCAR driver.
Something like that's
he genuinely thinks he's a NASCAR driver.
So what's your insurance like right now?
He paid out the roof.
It went down. That was college.
He had to get a giant. No, what happened is you gotta get a giant like Jeeps and truck. That way you don't go crazy.
Like 70 at the fastest, 75.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, when I did that, and my mom was like, you know what, you finna pay that, and you finna pay whatever insurance you got if you want to keep your car up there. I'm like, yeah, nah, I gotta learn how to manage my money. And I every little stipend I got, I had to pay that. I didn't really get to enjoy myself when I get to buy clothes, do that. Yeah. But it was more of me managing my money to pay them little bills, and then just watching other people you see on TV every day. Yeah. For real. Just have it up here, 400 mil, and just like, damn, bro, like 400 mil.
How much of it does come from like watching just like other people around you?
I mean, everybody can learn from others' mistakes. As long as you're watching people, you can learn good things from people. You can also learn what's not to do for people. So just pay attention. We know the statistics, especially some symposiums, going to all these different seminars. We learn that, 85% of us go broke when we're done. I mean, that's a high number. So knowing that information, you got to do everything you can do not to be that statistic.
Yeah, that's...
And learn how to say no.
Oh, talk about that for a second, though.
Learn how to say no. I say no quick, but not quick as I should have. So I'm kind of in that stage where no come out first, and I think about it, maybe say later. Yeah. But, you learn how to say no early. It's nothing you do good for yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got family members around you, not even friends, just family members around you that leech off. And that's everybody. Sure. Everybody has them type of family members, but they'll suck a lot of money out you to help you go broke. Yeah. And when you ain't got it, and you ain't got no one to fall on, so you understand that and think about that. And I think I went through a few things in my life where my loss was a cost. Yeah. $1, a little dollar. It could have been a big dollar. Yeah. And that was my loss of whatever, a friend, cousin, family member. Yep. Of the relationship, whatever the case may have been. Yeah. But I think the loss sometimes costs. So
yeah, it's an interesting perspective to compare the two. But like you think like entrepreneurship, which you guys both have endeavors now. You think like professional sports, the idea of what you just said about it being like, there's no one to bail you out. Like you're kind of the person who's responsible. In entrepreneurship, what you now really get is like you're responsible for employing people, that your work is able, like you got to be on your shit every day to make sure that those people are getting their checks cashed at the end of the week, those type of things. What ways did becoming a pro athlete change your like responsibility in your day-to-day life?
Man, the money part, just managing money. Early on, I wasn't like him. I wasn't saying no as much as I should have. I just remember the amount of tickets that I brought was ridiculous. And it's hard to keep track of that when you're young because you're not actually physically giving the cash or using your credit card.
Yeah, you're
So
just...
what we did in Kansas City, they just take it out your check. So I'm looking at the end of the year, I'm looking at the, the line items, I'm looking at the expenses from the hotel, all that stuff, all the things I buy in movies, and then I look at the ticket section. I spent like $39,000 on tickets. That's not counting the flights that I had people fly in. That's not counting the hotels. That's not counting me taking people out to dinner. So I'm looking, I'm like, I probably spent, I wasn't keeping a very good track. I spent probably about $100,000 just on people coming to watch me to play. And I'm like, man, I worked this damn hard. You're going to watch me on TV. I wanted to be on TV for a reason. So after my rookie year, I just really sat down. Like I was doing everything out the goodness of my heart, but I was like, I need to use my mind now. I need to stop letting my heart make decisions. And I set a budget. I was like, this is the amount of money I'm going to give out this year. Yeah. And anything outside of that, I'm going to have to say no.
I feel like I see this with people, and Ray, maybe you can speak to this a bit, but I feel like I see with people who like make something of themselves, business, professional athletes, whatever else, where like a lot of people feel the complex or need to save the people around them. Like there's a lot of people that come with that where you feel like you have to keep giving. And so you give a lot over and over to try to like bring up people with you, and maybe sometimes they want it, maybe sometimes they don't. But I've heard a lot of horror stories about that. How do you guys use your platform, use pro athlete, use money, those things to help put on people around you? Like maybe even, Ray, this is a good time to speak about like the music stuff, because I know you got friends you've been childhood friends with that you've kind of used the platform and used the access you have now to put other people around you on.
Yeah, with that, going back to when I got drafted.
Yeah.
On my resume, on my every little draft grade board, was does he love football?
Yeah.
And that actually used to like bother me.
Okay. Yeah.
And like make me boil it when somebody asks me that, because I go into like little every team has little conference rooms, go into some conference rooms, and certain coaches ask you like, you love football, like how much you love football, or like this silly questions out in that arena. Yeah. And when I got to the Bills, I've been doing music since I can remember 8, 9 years old. I was born into it. My dad had his own thing going on. And he had like 8 artists, every artist signed. If it's Capitol Records, Universal, one right now I can know off the top of his slide, he's with Dog Pound. Mm-hmm. And it keep going. And then into the dressing world. All that. I've been dressing since can remember, man. My dad had me clean as a youngin', so that's all I knew. Yeah. And when I got to the Bills, it was like, oh, does he love football? So everything I was doing, they were watching like, oh, he's not here an hour early all the time, or he'll come here, but no, does he love football? No, we don't know. But so it's like I'm always like feel like I'm at a test every day, and so for my first 3 years, I didn't promote, I didn't talk about music. I only play football.
Wow, yeah.
I only play football, and now that I'm finally getting my feet established, I kind of can put, like my best friend, he played quarterback with me in high school, played Little League together. He R&B. And I had people come to Clemson even. Like I had two other artists that I played basketball at the time. Yeah. They moved up there with a kid that had some money. I want some artists. I got some money for you. They weren't handling their business like they should. And I'm like, but I got people in my circle that really like talented, like can do music. Yeah. And then Isaac finally took it serious. Yeah. And I went to my pops. I'm like, pops, you could help me avenue this out. Yeah. And that's how we kind of got that going. And once I said I got my NFL established, I could start going to these rooms. Like last weekend, I'm at the NFL honors thing, running to certain elbows, rubbing elbows with certain people. So, and using those connections, and now I think he's doing a photo shoot, a music video with a big time photographer, a videographer. So, them type of things for him is a blessing for me to just help someone else, Yeah, just using my name or face, whatever it is, just for his success,
Yeah. So it's crazy because it's not even really like listening to the story. It's not even really the money thing. It's the giving them an opportunity with the craft side of stuff. Like he got to put the work in still. He got to grind in the studio. He got to be putting out good songs, but it's the access thing.
Of course.
I mean, I'll talk about putting people on, but I think he touched on something that the NFL does a huge disservice to guys is they red flag them when they have interest outside of football. And I think that's incredibly detrimental to them in their lives because it's such a short time. Like we're not going to play football forever. Yeah. So we need to start preparing for the end because it's coming. It's inevitable. It's going to come.
Yep.
You're not going to play for very long, even if you play 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But I had interest outside of football. I had the same questions at the combine. Because I was smart. They're like, oh, you smart? You got degrees.
Yeah.
I had 2 degrees. They're like, do you really like football? I'm like, because I'm smart.
That
makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
So, honestly, they just really want robots. They want guys that are going to do exactly what they tell them to do at any given time, that this is their life. And it is our lives. We've done it our entire lives, but you got to have something outside of it.
And the politic part, he just said, I learned that going after year 1, when it was like, we're ready to do music, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley came to the team. You know, he had a little freestyle on the radio station out here in Dallas, I think.
Yeah.
He had iTunes. I think he had music on iTunes. I don't know. And then I remember one day, it was like 8 o'clock. You know, you in there, you just coming in there, you trying to get your mind back right for practice later that day. And they'd do like Scout Team Player of the Week, Hard Worker, whatever the case. It'd just be pictures of people up there. And he called my name, and I kind of looked, because I was on the paper, and I looked up, and I'm like, it was a music video I had 1 year and 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ain't no way. I said, they do all this talking about me not doing music, me not being like, you don't love football. And all the football pictures I got, they found my music video.
Yeah.
I didn't even promote it or nothing. Like, you have to put in a whole nother name before it pop up. My name ain't even on it. And so I'm like, this is crazy. But they were like, okay with me doing music when Cole came.
Yeah.
Like, when Cole Beasley came, it was like, now it's, oh, you can do music now.
Yeah.
Because he was a vet. He was I think year 9 at the time. And he was doing music. So for me, it's like, that's crazy. Like, it take for someone to be established that does music for me to like, y'all feel okay with that.
Yeah, that's the politics behind it, man. Especially when you're young, they really want you just locked in on it.
Yeah.
Because they look at you just like it's just an investment.
For
and
sure.
They want to see their return. And if you're not yielding return, they don't know what you're going to do early on. They don't want you doing anything outside of football.
Yeah, I feel that. So you talking about, you spoke briefly on Isaac Rante, right? And Legend Tribe, which is the music stuff that you do now.
We got 2 artists.
Two artists now.
Isaac Rante, he's signed to Legend Tribe.
Yeah.
So what I got to do to get signed?
Yeah.
So I got to spit something for you?
I got a 15-year-old that he could write for you.
Straight up. I got the persona. I could be like the next Ross or something.
He really goes.
He's mogul on it.
He really goes.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm using my name. The NFL thing right now, he's on paper, so he can't leave like he wants to.
Good.
And him being young, he think he's Superman. All of us do.
Yeah.
You know, and right now we got to go to court to get him to be able to do things he want to do.
Okay.
Using my Facebook, him giving back, doing certain things, and I've been mentoring doing things anyway already. So we just got to show it now for him. I mean, for the judge and stuff. But with them 2 right now, that's my focus.
And it's legal stuff separated from you. You
Yes,
mean like,
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's saying like,
Just mentoring him and just a way of,
Yep.
you 15 years old and you have a talent that no one around you has.
Yep.
And you got to hone that in and know that.
and it's clear, by the way, like everybody we
right
played
now,
it
he's
to.
gonna change his life.
Exactly.
That's
And
awesome.
he got to understand that he can't do the same thing the next man do.
Yeah.
Can't
Right.
be the same party that the next man go to. So,
Yeah.
and that's something my dad taught me when I was young. I used to be at camps and boys out hanging out there, FaceTime me on spring break at Beach Week, you know, I'm like, hey, y'all boys hanging out, bro.
You made it though, bro. Your pops did your service.
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta give that back from what I had.
So talk to people, Legend Tribe, what's the long-term vision for you? Because obviously we talk a lot about business stuff. So this is like really, the business that you put a lot of focus on. Like what's the long-term play here? Like what are you hoping to see it become?
The entertainment business just make that Legend Tribe a dynasty in the entertainment business. From me personally, my second passion is writing like
all the time,
movies
right?
And content ideas and doing things like that. And right now I'm on the way of learning how to write scripts myself, rather than go find an editor and do all that. I want to learn how to do that and then find an editor to like little things to fix my script through my voice. But Legend Tribe itself, I know like the music has to do with putting music in movies.
Yeah.
I'm watching a show the other night. Every scene has some type of like music behind it. Yeah. And I didn't really start realizing until I start putting 2 and 2 together. Like, okay, music is in movies and that's how you make entertainment business work. So for me, my long-term goal is to write my own movies,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
put music into them.
It's something interesting because obviously we're close friends outside of this thing. Like, I've seen you work just as hard on the entertainment stuff as almost like it's clear that to be a professional athlete, you just have to have a workhorse mentality. And so I'm watching you do like acting classes, connect and network with the right directors and meet all these different types of people. And so it is super interesting. I wonder for you, because I think of Cookie Society and I think about like, yeah, for sure cookies is a big thing. But which we talked about last week, was a lot of like Marissa's ambition and came from like her. Did you have anything outside of Cookie Society for yourself that is a business in business that you wanted to do? Or was it always just do the investments kind of as an individual?
Yeah, for me, man, I just wanted to be that capital, like the private investor, that type of stuff. So for me, it was throughout my career, you know, I have the entrepreneur spirit, but not the creative side of it. I've never been like the creative. Like my wife had something that I saw that had potential. Yeah. I was like, okay, now we can turn this into something. And that's where my mind starts going, from the business side of it. And it's been working for us. I think the thing that I did while I was playing, I was actively seeking information from the business side of things. I was doing the off-season programs that the NFL provided. I was going to these different business seminars, learning the behind-the-scenes things on how to have a successful business, the processes behind it, talking to people, getting mentors within the industry. Yeah. And that's the things I was doing while my wife was more the creative, making sure it was a good product, making sure it was something that was exciting, all those types of things.
Makes a ton of sense. So what would you say, going back to the private investing stuff, what do you feel like, what do you feel like was the most natural to you? Was it real estate? Was it like stocks? What's the stuff that you enjoy the most?
I would say real estate. Yeah. Because I was a hell of a Monopoly player. So for me, it was always, transition this is real estate, and I had family members in it. And it was one of those things that you always would hear about and see. So naturally, it was the first thing that I started to research and look at.
Yeah. Hey, man, so I know, because people don't know this, but our texts back and forth are typically talking about some stock, some like real estate deal, some sort of deal stuff outside of just Legend Tribe stuff. And we'll get into some of the other stuff you got going on, but like what interests you? Like NFTs interest you, or stocks or crypto? Like what stuff do you get excited about?
Before, a month ago, real estate, but right now, NFTs. I talked to someone about it and actually like sat down with me and explained exactly what NFTs are.
Yep.
And that's explained a lot of me. Like I'm like, dang, that's crazy, because I like art, I like being creative, I like putting stuff together.
Yeah.
And then they got video stuff to it now, and that's what I'm into. It's just like I didn't know that's what the world came to. So I was behind a little bit, and now I'm kind of what he just said, like observing, soaking, getting information from each and every direction about that. And I think that's starting to come something that I'm really gonna enjoy. Yeah. But like I said, I think real estate is something you should do no matter what else you do. Yeah. So NFTs right now is something I'm kind of learning about and focusing on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Touching back to Legend Tribe stuff and going back to like the J3 stuff, what has being a mentor, because you've shifted recently from being like maybe the mentee coming out of college, getting to the league, being put on, whatever else, now shifting to like a mentor role for people. And I'm sure not just him, but other people in your community. We could talk about like your foundation and how much you do to give back to that type of stuff, and even some of the events you have coming up. What's that transition been like? How do you talk to us about that a bit?
Low key exhausting.
Low key. Yeah, it's tired helping people, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm here for. For sure. I feel like that's a calling for me. Besides football, whether I have money or not, you know. And watching my dad, like I remember I got five. It's five of us, three boys, 2 girls. So in the house, us 5 and them to my parents, 7 people. It was about 10 people now. Yeah. I can remember. And them other 3 are like people that actually live with us, like my cousins or my aunt, whatever the case may be. And my aunt's like almost my age, so it's like she's young. Yeah. But and I watched my dad just give back to so many people, like younger, older, no matter what the case may be.
Yeah.
Give them a house, opportunity to change their life. Like my cousin Josh, who you close to, you know
that's
what I'm
Josh.
saying?
Yeah.
He lived with me all through high school. Had .7
Yeah.
great GPA at a school called Tech.
Yeah.
Came to Sickles, we got his GPA back up. He ended up going to USF. Led the state of Florida in sacks. Like he's
strong, boy.
He changed his whole life, and he had an opportunity to get his first person on his inner family to get a degree, go to college even.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So things like that. And then his nephew came to the house as well, stayed there. So it was always somebody over there he was trying to help.
Yeah.
And then I think that all came from having a daycare. My dad got a daycare since '99. So at the time I'm young too, so I wouldn't understand what being around young kids and helping young kids all the time until I got older. And just watching him as I got older, always helping kids that he don't know.
Yeah.
You know? He even I remember Kobe, my brother Kobe McCloud, he's committed to Clemson, or not committed, he's signed to Clemson right now. Goes in June. He got kicked out of a middle school because one of the kids on the sideline was crying. My brother played the whole game, he played, but there was another kid that the coach put in the last 20 seconds of the game, but the kid was crying. And my dad kind of said something to the coach. You know my dad.
Yeah.
He said something to the coach, like, man, that's how you hurt kid confidence, like, whatever the case may be. And the dude was like, kind of, get out my face.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good thing to say to Big Ray. Yeah, you don't say that to Big Ray.
He went up there, like, he took it there. It was a lot of people around, but when he blacked out, it was just that.
Yeah.
Come back to school, I guess, or after the game, they were like, Kobe, are you okay at home? Or it was like, oh, my God. That whole time, it wasn't even about Kobe.
It was about
another kid.
Yeah.
That it was crying on the sideline. So it's like little things like that. Watch it always in my house. It's just genuine, you know? And it's natural for me just to, I see somebody need help, because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have that my first year and a half going into the league. It was a struggle for me. Like, he'll tell you, like, I don't even cry like that. But I was in the car Monday, you know, you lose on Sunday, you come back Monday, man. I'm in the car, I was crying, I called my dad, but I was like, I can't do it no more, dog. Like, I'm about to drive 30 hours home from Buffalo. Like, I got in the car, I'm finna hit it. He's like, man, boy, what's wrong with you, boy? Like, I said, man, cut the car, throw the keys in the back, go holler at somebody. I had to go talk to Chapel, went to therapy a few times or whatever. But it was more of me holding everything in a bottle. Yeah. Not being able to be myself, going back to, I'm being tested every day. Like, I gotta act a certain way and not myself. And I can't talk to people I want to talk to. Holding everything in a bottle. So it was like, where's my mentor?
I'm happy you touched on that, man, because mental health is huge, man, for everybody in society, especially young dudes in the league. Like, we come in, our lives change so much. It's a bunch of change. You leave in college, you've been there for 4 years. When I was in Chicago, then I went to University of Illinois. It's a 2-hour drive, so I was able to get home. I was able to see my family, see my friends. Then I'm off to Kansas City, coming to a bunch of money. Everybody reaching out to me, you start to feel like survivor's guilt. I'm helping as many people as I can, but it got to the point where I was like, if I continue to do this, I'm not gonna have anything. So then I started to say no, but psychologically that messed with me so much. Yeah. So that was my biggest struggle my rookie year. On top of the environment that we're in, I was in Kansas City, it was a different regime, but it was one of those leadership groups that told you what to do, what to say, how to dress. Like, you really wanted you to be a robot, and I struggled with that. Like, I wasn't being myself, all those things, and I actually started to see a therapist at that time. I was like, man, I started to feel different things. I knew nothing about anxiety. Yeah. Up until that point, I was okay, this is what this is. And we all go through that, but we don't talk about it. So I'm happy you brought that up. Yeah.
And it was crazy. You go 2 or 3 weeks without speaking to somebody in the building. Like, I remember it'll be 2 weeks, like, I don't want to speak to a soul in the building. Yeah. And I remember when defense coordinator Leslie Frazier come talk to me, boy, like, boy, you dead night, you a different person. But you giving me a look every week, whether it's running back, quarterback, receiver, like, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, I had a lot of respect from somebody. I appreciate that coach. Like, why you think I'm playing? He said, I couldn't tell you, man. I said, you should be right now. Like, you supposed to be out there. And for me, it was like, this is crazy to me. Like, it started bothering me. Everybody in the building, like, boy, he's a whole different player. Like, players saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why I ain't playing? It's something missing. Is it me and my spiritual beliefs, or like, am my spirit not in like it should be, or am I doing something off the field not right? Like, So it's like little things bother me. Come to find out, it's back to what we talked about, the politics part of it. Someone in the building don't like me. The way I dress, the way I talk. I'm from Florida. I can't help I'm working on that. Like, but it's in real life. It's someone I'm real close with. That's real close to somebody he close with, and we're tribal. And it's just I don't like the way you dress. I don't like the way you talk. Just
I don't like the way you wear your hair. You've heard all that type of stuff. Cut your hair.
I'm not cutting my hair. Like my hair come like down to past my shoulders. Like you know how long we grow my hair.
Yeah.
But like little things like that. So it's like it gets frustrating after a while. And I think every person that goes through a stage like that in some part of their life, maybe different avenues and different regions of it, but you gotta have someone to talk to. And that's why I'm more like, even with my relationship with my spouse, like, let's communicate about anything. If I come home and something wrong with me today,
communicate.
I'm gonna let you know it's not you. I'm just having a rough day, like, so it's not friction in the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
That's good, man. You mature, bro.
That
takes a lot to learn. Like you only in year 5, going to year 5. To know that right now you're in a good place, because communication, especially with your spouse, is key, because we're not mind readers. Nobody is.
Yeah.
They don't know necessarily what we're going through. And early on in my career, I tried to hide that because I felt like I was weak. It was a weakness. I felt like I was weak. I wanted to be this macho man.
Yeah.
I wanted to pretend like everything was okay, put on this smile. But in reality, you fighting all these different things in your head, all these doubts, all these different things that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But you got to get it out. And I'm happy you're getting it out right now.
Yeah, got to. And that's kind of, I felt how when you don't bring it out, Phil, I don't like, that ain't mine.
Nah, it ain't a good feeling, bro.
Like, cause I was like, when going to the team, hearing like, he used to fight in the locker room. Or he used to, like, it wasn't me fighting, it's just like, I wasn't myself. Like, I don't feel like joking. I don't feel like doing none of that. But I'm really a jokester. Like, I like to play around. I like to do all that. So, and I went through a time like that this past year.
Yeah.
And he was hurt. So, you know, when you hurt, you're away from the team.
Oh, you don't feel like you're a part of the team when you hurt?
The other person was. And then when he come back around, it's kind of like he angry, because it's like he's going through that process. He just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we kind of got into it. But in my head, I'm like, dang, I used to be like that. Like, I used to like feel unhappy. Yeah. So don't take it out on him. More like just know he going through something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we end up dropping in the situation, and we cool. But other than that,
yeah, makes a lot of sense. I want to go to the foundation thing, but I just want to sit for a second on what you guys said. It's interesting that both of you, coming from like completely different sides of the United States, or at least north to south, different sides, talked about the idea of being like an athlete and also not being able to talk about mental, or at least not feeling like you can really share those things. Do you feel like that's a stigma that's produced by you wanting to be seen away so that you can keep, I guess, the persona about you? Do you feel like it's comes down to just being an athletic? Like, what do you think causes people not to want to talk about mental health?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, it was, like I said, it felt like a weakness, and it was almost embarrassing to say, you know, I'm dealing with these types of feelings. And then not want people to be in your business, man. Like, you don't want people commenting on what you got going on. Like, you know, you're making a bunch of money. What you complaining about?
Because you already got so much of that in your personal life, right?
All
You're
these
already
things,
in the limelight.
you're already living under a microscope. Everybody's already picking at you all different directions. So, you know, publicly coming out and saying something like that isn't necessarily the best thing. I still don't think it is. Yeah. But internally, like, you can't keep it to yourself. Yeah. You gotta talk to those close to you. Go see a therapist, you know. Yeah. Share those things. But I think from a public perspective, it's good to talk about it so everyone knows, like, okay, this is normal. Yeah. Like, I'm not the only one. Because I really thought I was the only person going through what I was going through. Yeah. Until I started to talk about it, and other guys were like, nah, we've been through this. You know, this is normal. So
yeah, taking the stigma away.
It made it better for me. It made it easier for me to get over it.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I think social media made it bad for people.
That's a good point.
Like, you see the Tyrese thing, I think he was going through it, and then he was crying about not being able to see his daughter or whatever. And they made it funny. That's funny. Oh, he was going through it. It was more out there that I could come off and can't name off the head right now, but and it's could come up from embarrassment. Yeah. And embarrassment of weakness. Yeah. I should say. And after going through what just my process. Yeah. Embarrassment really not something I look at like. I mean, everybody embarrassed about some. It could be in elementary school, middle school. This is part of life. But I think after therapy, all that, the confidence level that I got from that, just been like, I am who I am, and you gonna like either like it or not. And if you don't like it,
deal with it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say deal with it. I'm gonna say me myself.
That's what I'm saying.
If you can't whoop me, I'm gonna say you can show me you can whoop me.
Hey, that's the most Florida energy.
I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And so keep it moving. If you ain't trying to be around my energy, I'm giving off at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So but most kids, I think it starts at a young age. We're taught to kind of be tough. Why you crying? Yeah, especially. And I caught myself saying it to my cousin the other day. He was like, I took a toy from him, like playing with him, and he kind of like leaned on his mommy, like, mommy, like, I said, he's 3. Him like, why you crying, bro? Like, don't be crying. Like, I said, what you crying? You hurt?
Yeah.
Like, but it was more like, I sit back and thought, like, I thought it was soft for him to lean on his mommy, but I'm asking him why he crying. When it's like, sometimes it's okay to cry if you
gotta let him process those emotions.
To get it out. But
I find myself doing that with my son. Like, I make it my intention to make sure I let him process his emotions. Because I know growing up with, my father wasn't around, but my uncle was. Yeah. And he would always, man, stop crying like a girl. Yeah. Or stop acting like this, stop acting like that. And it really made me internalize things and not express my emotion. Yeah. And as you get older, you may not deal with it right in that moment because that's what you've been getting ingrained into you. Yeah. As you get older, as an adult, you really start dealing with issues and problems. Yeah. And you don't process those emotions and let them out. It turns into anxiety. It turns into different things. Yeah. And it's all rooted from early on in life, not being able to cry, not being able to say how you feel. So I make sure my kids, I let them articulate how they feel.
It's so good. And I promise we're about to move on from this, but like, I'm so interested by this dynamic because you just had a kid. We were talking earlier that you were 3 years in when you had your first kid. Your kids literally like their dads are like legit gladiators. Like y'all go into an arena every week and like quite literally put your bodies on the line. Like there's a very like tribal energy around like what you have to do for a living where there, I don't know, I want to say anger, but there's like, you have to put a lot of energy into like me against the guy in front of me and I'm gonna whoop his ass. Like that's my responsibility. Yeah. How do you keep that on the field? And like, how do you, when you come home, be like just a regular guy? Cause y'all don't live regular lives in that regard, if that makes sense. Do you get where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. I look at it like a switch. Like honestly, like for me, when I'm playing, I really look at it like 2 different personalities because you really got to go out there and be a gladiator and not give a fuck. Like, I'm punching somebody in the face every single play.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and I know that. But I also know I can't do that in the real world. I can't like go out and get upset, even if I'm in the right. Just punch somebody lights out. I can't. Yeah. So understanding and processing that and knowing that, you can't take what's on the field off the field. It's 2 separate things. It's 2 separate lives, and that's just how you got to go about it.
Yeah, I had trouble with that.
For a while. Yeah, we could tell from what you said before.
I had the same energy on and off the field. Like, but it was more of me being unhappy. Yeah. So it gave the same. I was unhappy on the field, off the field, whether either case it was. Yeah. So it gave off the same energy. Yeah. But for me now, I'm in a good place. I'm happy. When I go on the field, I gotta talk to myself. Yeah. I gotta remember.
Like almost hype yourself up.
I gotta remember what was said. I gotta think about. I got in my notes like articles when coaches talk crazy about me.
Just scouting reports, all that stuff.
I do all that. Keep coaches' names. I remember when I do all the time. I read a lot.
For sure.
Games or if I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit comfortable, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? And that keep me from being comfortable. Honestly, like when I read it often. Yeah. And even when I see it sometimes, it'll give me like PTSD a little bit. Like I get angry, but I gotta remember that's what's keeping me on a chip on my shoulder. Yeah. So.
Did you have anything like that? Did you do anything to like rile yourself up before games?
Oh yeah, I've always had a chip on my shoulder. Coming out of high school, I was a 0-star recruit. Like I was not recruited at all. I actually got a scholarship by chance. One of my best friends, he on a picture over there. Yeah. His father, his pops, he was like, hey, you want to come with us? We're going to a camp at the University of Illinois. I was like, I'm like, it's cool. I don't got no money. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I was like, I don't got no money. I can hop in the car with y'all. I asked my mom for a couple $, you know, so I can get some food and stuff. And I was like, I'll come up. And I got a scholarship. And that's how I got the notoriety. That's how they started to notice me.
Yeah.
Went from a 0-star to a 2-star. Only had one offer, took it. And from there, it was history, man. I went to University of Illinois. I graduated high school a semester early, went up there out of shape, couldn't lift a weight. Chicago's a basketball city.
Yeah,
so football
is.
not our thing. So we practicing in a gymnasium. We don't got no weight room. Like there's no off season. I'm just eating chips, playing video games. So I get to campus and they like, man, we made the biggest mistake in our life.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why we signed this kid. But man, I really took all those negative things that they were saying and turned it into a positive. I was like, I'm gonna prove all these motherfuckers wrong. Matter of fact, I'm gonna prove myself right.
Yeah.
And I just carried that throughout my entire career.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you took upbringing, talked about your dad, and then some of the darker seasons, coming to the lighter seasons, just kind of getting through all that. And now you got your RM3 Foundation. Talk a little bit about what the foundation does, like what break it down for us.
I'm gonna go from ground, 4-0.
Yeah.
I kind of was like given a sleeping disorder. My dad got it, so and my cousin. So I have a sleeping disorder, hypersomnia. Mm-hmm. Like anytime I'm out running around, I'm going at 100 or go out play basketball with you or something. If I sit down, my blood pressure just 100 to 0. Like it's no chill. It's no chill. Like it's just like once I sit down, it's just like
he's knocked out. Anywhere you can be at a booth at a restaurant, and if you got a second, he's out. Yeah.
People is like, he tired. He don't sleep at home or something. Like I can sleep for 10 hours, 12 hours. I go to class. It's like go from PE to class. It's over with. Yeah. And so teachers, I used to get bad relationships with teachers, but they really couldn't do anything because I had like a 4.2 GPA. I was always on my stuff. I just used to sleep in class, and obviously it carried off into college and meetings. Never had MAs, mental errors in the game field. None of that. I always knew everything, what to do. Going to lead, it's more of a business. I went to a team that wasn't winning that much, so me doing that was like, oh, he don't want to be here. And that gave him another reason, oh, he don't love football. I had a coach, my receivers coach, he loved me. Stand up, Ray, stand up. You good, you good. He like, coach, he ain't sleeping, he good. He be like, stand up. I stand up and be over there like this. Like, it's not me trying to be disrespectful. It's me. I have a problem.
Yeah.
And so once I got that fixed, and then I have ADHD, which my foundation deals with raising awareness for it, empowering families to learn how to handle a situation like that with learning disabilities. Because I think not even just our people, just everyone has trouble sometimes. Certain people they know in their life have learning disabilities or trouble focusing. And that keeps some of us from getting where we want to get to. And school, in reality, some people go JUCO, JUCO too hard, I can't do it no more. And lose all their talent, give their talent away just to go back home and do what? And it's all because they don't even know they have a learning disability.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what my foundation deals with. And then the mental part of it, just to know that you gotta really like know what you want most and focus on what you need. Like the moment is just this little bit gonna add up to this big. You know what I'm saying? And that's how now I live every day. Like every day gonna add up, and it's gonna be that good year. And it's gonna be that good year. Every day gonna add up to be a good year. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. As we're wrapping up, what should people look for this year from you?
Super Bowl.
Oh, is that right?
We get a quarterback. Any quarterback come to Steelers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got your platform. Ask them who coming.
You got a campaign. Who you want? A free agent?
D.Y.
Really?
D.Y.
Go ahead
We
and
talk
get him
all the
there.
time. We went to college together. So,
that boy's special too.
We get the right quarterback. We won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
It's over with.
All right. So we got Super Bowl. We got RM Foundations, which is a real thing. Super Bowl. We'll get to that later. We'll see how that's good. No, we're in cowboy country right here.
Yeah, that's fine. They had every chance in the book.
We're in the Chiefs crib right now, though.
Yeah, we are in the Chiefs crib.
You know, they're in contention every year.
Yeah.
It's over with for them.
How did
They beat us.
Hey, not just beat though. Hey, not just beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it did.
It's all good,
Yeah.
man.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's. You want to transition into? Is there anything else you want to hit before we do?
No, man, I think this was a great episode, man. I appreciate you joining us. First guest.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, man.
First guest ever, man. This is a special moment, man. We appreciate you.
Big
got
toes.
Yeah, man. All right, why don't we hit our current events super quick and we get up out of here?
All right, so we're gonna run through these headlines really quick and just get a hot take on it.
Just super
the first
quick.
one coming up is the pandemic has created a small business boom. 5.4 million applications to start new companies in 2021, which was a 53% jump in 2019 pre-pandemic.
That's actually wild. 5.4. You said 5.4
5.4 million applications.
to start a new business. I feel like everybody, a lot of stuff. Talk about. So you got obviously the Blender Jet stuff that we do. You do a lot of in the e-com space, like online Shopify, that type of stuff. Your merch, your clothing line. Like COVID has helped with a lot of that because everybody's buying. Obviously, online increase has gone kind of crazy.
I think COVID gave a lot of people time to sit down and reflect on themselves and just actually go to work. Because I think our day-to-day life take up so much of our time and from each angle. And COVID sat people down and just work on your craft and what's important. Whether it's your family that you miss it. People miss time with their family sometimes. Like sit down with your family, that may be a problem. Or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's gave people time to sit down and focus.
I think it taught too that how important ownership is because so many people. At one point it's like 52 million people were out of jobs.
You got to think of people just their jobs snatched away like that.
That quick. And so either you got to be with someone who you know in a company that you know is going to take care of you, or you got to have some way of having that ownership stuff. Yeah, huge deal.
Definitely, kudos. I like it, man.
Yeah, it's a big deal. What else you got?
Yeah, so the next one kind of leans into that. So with so many of these businesses being e-com, the next headline is Apple broke Facebook's ad machine. Now who's going to fix it?
Yeah. So I'm resident ad guy here. So let me give some context. This is actually be a good social clip. So when advertisers run ads, so you got your merch stuff, right? Say you want to run an ad to everybody who's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, or you want to run your ad to everybody who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Before Apple made this update, what would happen is they would click on your ad, they'd see your clothing line, and they'd go to your website, and it'd be like, I want the Ray merch. Something comes up, whatever. I'm doing something in the kitchen. I got to go do something else. I get distracted. I go somewhere else. What happens is, as an advertiser, you can track them. You can be like, okay, they're on the website. I'm going to show them something else or show them a different product. What Apple did was put a wall between that to where now consumers can say, no, when I go to your site, I don't want you to be able to follow me around like that, which obviously probably good for like privacy stuff, but makes it to where as advertisers, you don't necessarily have the same information and stuff. What's interesting about that is revenue, in terms of revenue from ads, has dropped 50% in the 1 year span that we've seen this kind of AAT stuff come into place. And so maybe a good place to go with the headline thing is like NFL, other businesses you got going on. As they start giving more control to consumers, what type of effect do you think that has on like your small bit, like on your business, my small business, on like business that are trying to grow?
Well, it directly affects you. So
yeah, when the advertising space directly affects me.
Yeah, it definitely affects you. I mean, from an ad thing, like you're not going to be able to be in front of as many eyes. You're not going to be able to attract those potential customers. But you just got to be creative. You got to figure out different ways to get out in front.
Yeah.
And what those things are, we're going to figure out.
Creativity always wins, right?
Yeah,
creativity always wins. Your boy being quiet because it's ads. Keep going to the next one. We'll cut that one out.
Next one's interesting as well. Inflation is the business opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah, so this is crazy. Inflation, they say, is supposed to be at 8% by the end of this quarter. Y'all both make good money, you in the NFL. We won't say numbers, but y'all make good money. How do you deal with inflation raising that high?
I mean, you just continue to invest. Don't let your money sit in the bank.
Equity, right?
Ownership. From a business perspective, just make sure you know your numbers. It affects every market differently. I know for us in the baked good industry, we've seen some influx in things. And
for sure.
I mean, eggs are up 200%, sugar's up, everything is up.
Yeah.
So just making sure you stand on top of that because it changes on a weekly basis.
Yeah, for sure. You got anything?
What he said was what I want to say about leaving your money in the bank, letting money sit. We always talk. I always want to have my money somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, we just became friends again.
We've been just stop playing.
You know.
Yeah.
Nah, but
give people context. You say we don't become friends if we're not doing deals. That's what it is.
What?
You only see it. Yeah.
If I call you on February 7th and you call me back March 7th, that's not
You do that to you too?
I was busy working for
Bro,
y'all.
I texted him one day and
No,
texted
it's
him
not
back
true.
a week later like it was the next.
I'm too busy working for both of y'all. Inflation's bad, equity's good. Put your money in a place that
I found out
grows.
he put a ring on it, but I'm like, hey, like he don't even tell me. Like,
I saw on
dang, that's
Instagram.
crazy. I saw on Instagram. That's what I seen.
Go to the next headline.
So I thought we'd end on a high note, and the high note was just this one. It seems that one of Samuel L. Jackson's great movies has come true. Actual snakes on a plane cause emergency landing. A flight from Malaysia, they found some snakes on a plane, and they had to divert and do an emergency landing.
Hey, bro, let me tell you right now. What's your reaction if you you got your little drink, you sit in your little first class, because I know that's how you ride, and you lean back like this, and you see a
I don't
little
even play with snakes.
you see a little crawl right up under your feet. What's happening? What are you doing?
Well, I spit, I think. Well, I'm scared of heights, but I might jump, boy.
You just jumping no parachute? Yeah.
I'm
I'm just gonna have to keep calm, bro. But I don't mess with snakes.
Not
What
at all.
airline was? What airline was that?
It was a Malaysia.
It was Malaysia?
airline. Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't plan on
Yeah,
being there anyway.
we ain't vacationing there anytime soon.
Anyway, you know.
Did they say what kind of snake or how many snakes?
They did not say what kind of snake it was, and I tried to do the research and look, but they did. There was a photograph of it in the plane. You can kind of
Oh, it's just got one. It's one. Oh, I could do it one, I think.
Yeah, one.
And there's like, what, 100, 150 people on a flight? Yeah, mods me be the one to get bid. It's real low.
Yeah, I could do one.
Yeah, for sure.
But snakes on a plane, snakes are different.
Yeah,
those snakes are
yeah. They coming up.
Them alligators, boy, it's different.
Yeah, man. All right, that's the last one.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, this episode is going to come out Friday at 5. So we'll have this thing dropped. It's cool. Good shit, man. That's it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. Yes, sir.